Okay, we're live. Before I actually we start this, I'm gonna check out some things, like send a couple links, change the thumbnail, blah 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 blah. And you can just sit right there and do your stuff. Please tell me I can change the thumbnail live. No, I can't. Thanks, YouTube.
We do have to resend this then?
No, I could just change it later because we're in an unlisted stream right now. That's probably why. For videos. There we go. All right, found the link. I'm gonna send it to you on Snapchat right now, so you can check this out. See how it looks on everything. Sound check it real quick. Make sure everything is good. Everything sound good, mate?
Yeah. Sound check it real quick. I'm good.
Oh, my hair is so terrible with the chlorine today.
I had seen your pictures today, and I was supposed to go get a haircut, but I was too lazy. So my hair was literally exactly like this. I look like a troll.
Pictures. Aren't you a junior now?
No, I'm a senior.
You're a senior now? Bruh, when did that happen?
Unfortunately, I just want to get out, dude. I'm done.
When did that happen?
Hasn't happened yet, not until August 25th or whenever.
Oh, you're not a senior then.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. I don't understand. I thought you were a junior this year.
How did you not know that?
I just didn't.
You're capping.
Okay, whatever. Let's start the actual stream now, even though we've been live for 2.5 minutes. Welcome to my stream, the Skyxx148 stream, co-hosted by this dude, Tim.
What is up? Glad to be here.
We're just talking like we actually have viewers right now.
Facts. We'll get there.
Hopefully.
That's what progression is for. You can't have progression if you start off strong.
Okay. So, introduction, my lad. Who are you? Who are we?
Well, how do you best answer that question?
Who are you, Timber? Who are you, Tim? Tell me.
Go ahead and ask me some questions, like basic questions. I can flow with that, but I don't know how to just, go ranting about myself.
I'll go first. All right. Hi, I'm Michael. Okay, I run this YouTube channel. I've had it for like a couple years. I'm a ginger. Yeah, that's it. I'm bored and quarantined, and I want to start a podcast. So, that's me. If you can go off of that, Tim.
Well, I am much the same. A little bored during all this. Me and Michael met at Six Flags, and that used to be our way of getting together and hanging out and stuff. But with the virus and everything, it's making it difficult for Six Flags to open this year. So we decided to cancel our passes, me and my family. So me and Michael don't really get to see each other much or talking very much anymore. So I think starting this podcast, it's a way to stay connected, keep each other up to date on stuff, but do it on a broader scale. So we're both getting some out of it for fun,
Maybe we can make this weekly, or is it already weekly? I don't know.
Weekly sounds good.
But how did we exactly meet there, Tim? Yeah, we met at a place called Six Flags, but what exactly happened?
Well, the first time I met Michael, it was a nice day, sunny, and they were going to open Max Force for the first time. And I mean, let's be straight here. I saw him around before this. I talked to him a little bit, like at the year before. I just talked to him a little bit, but didn't like talk too much. Whatever. Didn't trade
Right.
Snapchats or anything. But Max Sports was opening. It was a long line. We were there like an hour and a half early because that's what you got to do when you're devoted. But I walked up to him, said, "Hey, what's good?" We talked about it for a little bit, and I said, "Hey, yo, give me your phone number." Give me his phone number, and we started texting outside of Six Flags, and we started to hang out pretty much every time we were both there. So here we are.
Yep, that's it. It was the 4th of July, somewhere around then. So we rode some coasters, aka the one I fit on. But demon. Anyway, yeah. So Max for I mean that's about it, really. He summed it all up. I don't want to like have you do all the talking though on this podcast. We gotta balance this out.
50-50.
You pretty much covered it. Well, 50-50 until we bring a possible guest in here. Maybe. All right. So, rules of this podcast, per se. What are the rules? I mean, personally, I think we just speak our mind, think whatever, or speak however we want to. That's about it.
I think our opinions are fully on the table. We should probably try keeping the language and stuff to a minimum so as not to get, in too much trouble as far as not washing the mouth. So whatever. I mean, obviously sometimes you get a little passionate, you get a little heated, stuff comes out, but overall, if you can help it, I think we should tamper it down on the obscene language.
Of course, what if little kids watch this? Then I guess
Right. You want that influence?
Their parents will be fucking mad.
Oh, really? Will they be?
Yeah, it really went there. Ha. Yeah. So we're pretty much just going to speak our minds about whatever the topic or the theme of the podcast is, essentially, of this week. This week is specifically Hamilton because I finally got Tim to watch Hamilton after telling him, "Oh, dude, this is good. This is some good crap. Watch it."
Yeah, actually, it's quite ironic because when we first met, neither one of us had ever watched Hamilton, and in fact, we both hated it at the time, and we refused to believe that it was as good as everybody said it was, and that it should be as popular as it was. But obviously, it came out on Disney Plus recently. Michael gave it a watch, and he was like, "Holy cow, this is kind of good." So he told me to watch it, and I kept saying, nah. Probably about a month later, here we are, like 2 nights ago. Finally, I was like, whatever. Just got off of work. Let's sit down and watch it. And I watched it, and it was beautiful.
And let's keep it there because we want to save that for the Hamilton segment, eh? Later, a little later.
Right.
So also us on the podcast rules topic, yes, we want to have some sections. So like a sponsor, and okay, I'll go into that because we have a sponsor for this episode. Free sponsor. Yeah, we have a sponsor, and I want to do something like recent topics. So some things that are happening in today's world, and what do we think about it? What are our views? Stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna get into that segment right after our sponsor, which is Hades the Husky over on Instagram. He's such a cute dog, all right, and
beautiful.
He's ran. The account's ran by my sister Crystal, and she does an amazing job keeping up with the likes and the follows and everything to do with that. Let me go find his Instagram right now. Typing in the wrong stuff. All right, go follow Hades _the_ Siberian Husky, and she's almost at 1,500-ish. So if we can get some people to go follow, that would be great. Tim, do you follow that account yourself?
I believe I do.
Oh, it's good then, eh? All right, all right, all right. So, um, let's get on to the first necessarily segment per se. Our political views. Where we're not going to get into too much political views, but we're going to lay down the line and be like, this is where we stand on the line, and our opinions are like that. Because me and Tim think very similarly.
So, just say straight up, I personally am a conservative Republican, and I do not tend to stray from that much, regardless of the topic within it. It's just kind of how I've always seen things, no matter what. But how about you?
Exactly the same thing, except I'm open to like learning new things and some liberal ideas. But if I don't believe in it, I'm not gonna take the time to like care about it or try and learn
Right.
about it.
I mean, I'll never
Right, right.
shut anybody down when they tell me what they're from. I'll listen to them. I'll give it a listen. But sometimes they'll say one thing, and it's just like, no, I can't agree with that or support that. So that's when I
Right.
stay back and I take my side. I'm not going to shift to meet somebody's approval or anything like that. I'll shift only when I see need to because they've said something that truly compels me. But
Mhm.
in general, not going to sway.
And in general, I became Republican conservative because like I used to be kind of neutral and didn't have any specific opinions on any matters, but since I realized how like the other side, the radical left acts, I'm just like, nah, that's kind of toxic. It's kind of stupid. I'm gonna go this way, where facts. Yeah, essentially. Any other
I mean,
things?
that's like when it comes out that the word conservative does mean conservative, right? Like you have your opinions. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to go around saying it to everybody I see because, I'm more reserved. I'm not going to go out and be a huge asshole to anybody just because, oh, your view's different than mine, right? But
Hmm.
I feel like some liberals, they tend to push their opinion forward a lot more prominently than really necessary at a lot of points and times.
Right. And that's just them, and I don't necessarily like that, but we deal with it. Right. So that was about it for our political segment because we don't want to get into too many topics and make people mad who actually might watch this. Um, okay. If people are interested in what we may have to say and think politically, then maybe we'll get like some sort of guest on here that's also political or someone of the opposite political spectrum, and we'll debate, talk about subjects, and that could be a theme of a stream. But
Absolutely.
other than that,
Not today, though.
yeah, not today, not today. We want to start off good with our stream.
Yeah, let's
All
be
right,
subtle, be
so
chill.
so okay, so recent topics. As you can see, I changed the banner at the bottom. Oh, um, TikTok may be getting banned. Will be getting banned. Thoughts on it? You want to start us off, Tim?
Well, I mean, I haven't done a whole lot of research on this topic because I'm not super invested in it necessarily. But if it's true that China is actually doing some spyware, whatever stuff with the app, and it is truly a danger to the people in our country, then I think something has to be done about it. I mean, I don't know if banning it completely is exactly the best option up front, but until something can be done to make everything safe for Americans, I think it should definitely be put on pause somehow. How about you?
Right. Now, I did do a little research into the topic because in China, I'm not sure exactly, but in most parts of China, in order to be accompanying intellectual property, you have to be working with the Chinese government and give them a backdoor to information and a whole bunch of things like that. And that is bad because China and the U.S. are not necessarily the best of companions, and if they get information on the Americans, then that could possibly affect us in the future because even if the app gets banned now, they still probably have enough information, but that's literally about it. But otherwise, I don't think Microsoft's buying it. I know Microsoft was going to look into buying it, also Twitter, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to get banned. But I mean, it's a
I
nice
think it'll
app.
get banned. I mean, I don't doubt it'll make a return later, whether it be as TikTok or something else, because, I mean, you know how the world works with technology today. Somebody will whip something up real freaking fast the second TikTok goes down. So,
Right. Or we'll have some TikTokers move to like Instagram and YouTube, and it's going to be Vine all over again. Oh my god, that was so terrible. I'm just going to say, we thought these Vine people were bad, but like some of these TikTokers can't even like. Have you seen the video with that one girl who's like, "Oh my god, Charlie D'Amelio is passing me. I'm crying."
I've not seen that. What is that all
Okay,
about?
a while ago there was a video, or not? No, it came out recently on Drama Alert, but um, a video of I don't know her name, some TikToker. She was crying because she was the most popular TikToker with the most followers, and Charlie D'Amelio was passing her, and she literally had a mental breakdown. Like this bitch is surpassing me in followers and all that. Kind of pathetic, and I know. I just said a cuss word, but it was in the actual video. Go look. I don't care.
Take a watch if you want, but I mean, obviously, most TikTokers, like the prominent ones, are younger. So, drama still runs heavy. That's their whole life right now. So, when they get a platform, they get all of these followers, and they know everything I say is going out to the wide, wide world. They're going to say whatever they want to say,
Right.
and you're going to see it turn into many situations involving drama, such as what you just said. Somebody literally having a mental breakdown because she got passed in followers. It's like, well, guess what? There's still some people going to be watching your videos. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, life goes
Yeah.
on. It's a social media app. Oh man.
But I don't think that the most popular TikTokers on the platform are not gonna be able to survive on YouTube really, because like how is like someone like Charlie D'Amelio that mostly posts videos of herself just dancing gonna survive on YouTube? What's she gonna do? I mean,
Yeah, like
sure she can vlog her family and stuff like that, but honestly, who cares?
right. I mean, 7-second videos. I mean, that's what Vine was, right? 7 seconds or so. I mean, they were just short clips. And when they had to move to YouTube, it was kind of sketch. But like TikTok, you can get 60 seconds is your maximum for a video. But I mean, they've spent their entire life on TikTok practicing how to take 60 seconds and make it into something great. But on YouTube, I mean, you can post those short videos, but that's not really where that platform thrives. Usually 10
It's not
plus
gonna
minute
get
videos are
money.
kind of the norm.
Right, right, right. Oh, and issues is when these TikTokers are given a platform, and get popular, they start doing stuff that not necessarily is a profession. Like Dixie D'Amelio, how her song "Happy," sure it might sound good and sure it might be a good song, but like she never, huh?
It's not a good song. Gotta
Okay,
say
it's
it.
not a good
The
song.
song
I
is
haven't listened
terrible.
to it. Anyway, but this Dixie D'Amelio, as far as I know, never had interest in making music, and wasn't a singer at all. But just because her sister got popular and she got popular, oh, let's make some music to make money off of how got popular. I mean, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, right. Like they're gonna do anything that they can to stay popular. I mean, that'd be like, famous BMXer crashes his bike, paralyzed, done permanently. Then he's gonna start a rap career. He was never interested in rapping before, but he's lost what he was doing. So now he's gonna do anything that he can to make sure that he can still do something, And I feel like that's what's going to happen now. Once TikTok gets shut down, a lot of them are going to do that. And sometimes it'll be good, like it'll be decent. They might find something that also happens to be interesting and that they're good at. But a lot of other times, I feel like they're really going to struggle to maintain the same level of popularity doing something completely else than what they were doing before, you know?
Right. Yeah, but I think that kind of concludes the TikTok area. What's next? Innocent white man being shot by cops in Phoenix. Essentially, this is a video where this white man and his girlfriend are just having a fun time, and there's a domestic disturbance call that a neighbor or something called, and these cops with poor attitude came to the door. This guy came out with a gun hidden behind his back because BLM is causing riots and issues, and he thought, hey, that maybe these could be rioters trying to cause me harm, my family harm. So he had a gun hidden, and when this guy realized it was the cops, he was gonna go put the gun down and was kneeling down, and before he can even surrender and talk with the cops shot him down. And I feel like this is a real issue because it's not necessarily just race. It's cops. It's like these corrupt cops necessarily in the area that are doing these things without proper instruction and training. Like, he didn't let the man surrender or put his hands up, whatever. They just did it without warning. I mean, I don't think it's right.
I mean, I know you sent me the link to the video after you found it when I was at work, and I said I'll watch it when I'm on break. I went to watch it when I was on break, and it was taken down from YouTube. It got blocked almost immediately because it was so crude. But I do
Yeah.
have to ask you a question. You did watch the video, right? Did you have the audio
Mhm.
turned on?
Yeah.
Did the man say anything like, I have a gun in my pocket, I'm going to kneel down and put it on the ground, and I'm going to stand up and put my hands up? Did he do
No.
anything like that, or did he just straight kneel down?
No, he just opened the door, realized it was the cops, and straightly went down. But the cops knew he had to.
See,
Yeah.
that I feel like that is a situation. I mean,
that
there's a lot going on in the world right now. I feel like every time a cop has an encounter with a civilian, there's always, no matter what, there's always a thought in the back of their head, am I going to die right here, right now?
Oh, of
And
course.
I mean, when you open the door and the dude immediately ducks down to the ground, I mean, obviously you're terrified. I don't know if pulling the trigger on your weapon aimed towards the man is the best idea, but definitely not exactly, it's not exactly easy for me to 110% blame the cop, but
Right.
definitely there were a lot of other actions that could have been taken. Like, he could have stepped back, hands up right now, hold the gun
Like,
right there, make sure the guy stays still. I mean, obviously, if this dude was genuinely trying to harm the cop, bam, dead, but either way, it's a sketchy situation, and I feel
but
like that's just like a
there's
lot of what's going on right now.
there's more to it too. I mean, because the body cam footage came out, and um the cops were a very poor attitude before even having this encounter. And even when the girlfriend came out and was crying, they had the nerve to tell her to calm down, and they were so insensitive, and it was just not what you want to see, even with all races and people of color.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like when you're out in public, you don't know everybody that's out there. There's a lot of strangers, right? Well, if you're standing in the same place as somebody and someone approaches you with a smile on their face, hey man, how's your day going? You're probably going to turn around and say, oh, it's been good. How about you? You're going to start a conversation with some dude walks by. Wow, you're looking like crap today. I mean, what's the reaction? I mean, you're not going to give him a very good pushback on the conversation because he just, came up to you with a terrible attitude in the first place. So, I mean, when the cop already had that bad attitude, it's not really easy for that encounter to go positively. So,
Right. And to wrap this up, I feel like, I mean, obviously we know the media and YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all this is ran by very liberal leftist people, and things like this that don't fit the narrative are just left out and like deleted and blocked and whatever because they want to push their agenda. And these social
Right.
medias
Anything that doesn't
are
line up with that, they don't want that getting
yeah,
popular.
and
They don't
the
want that
social
getting
medias
shown around.
are supposed to be platforms to like share your photos and everything like that. It's not supposed to be meant to push a political agenda, and it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, they'll
Not there.
definitely try pushing certain things in front of your face you don't want to see, but it's always their best narrative. That's what you're going to see every time. Same thing with the news. A lot of the news channels are biased, so the content that they show on those news programs is going to be geared towards where they stand politically, even. I mean,
Hmm.
even for simple stuff like it's still somehow politics managed to show up in everything, you know?
Right. And so, ooh, sorry, checking my phone. Next topic. Chicago. As okay, so viewers, if anyone's watching this, me and Tim are in Illinois, and we live out from Chicago. And Chicago was recently being raided and looted again due to I didn't do much research, but I believe cops shot down a black man, and that's what started these riots again. And they completely tore streets down and caused a lot of problems. And it's not happening, and it really stems from Mayor Mayor Beetlejuice's leadership because while things are happening, she's doing other things, and she's very liberal, and it's not good for Chicago.
I mean, you think about it, this right here, this is Illinois as 1/50th of the United States. And here we have the entire United States, pretty big, right? Illinois is just one small part. So, I mean, Trump will make one call in the entire state of Illinois. I mean, they're all going to think what they want, right? But the entire country can say what they want about him, and everybody's always on about how bad of a leader he is. But if you look into Illinois, and specifically as a city in Chicago, there's some terrible leadership going on right now with Mayor Lightfoot, but nobody's saying anything. There's nothing that's changing about that. Nobody's going to say anything. But everybody can slander on the president, no problem, you know. And I feel like that's a huge cost of these riots because everybody knows nothing's going to happen. We're good. They know that there's not going to be a change. So they're going to do what they do. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that.
and
Wrap on that until something changes.
it's just the fact that majority of people are liberal, and they think, oh, these liberal people are not doing anything harming and bad besides Trump. Oh, we hear these couple things that have been proven wrong in the media, and we're like, oh, Trump's bad, Trump sucks, but they don't really look into it. They don't look into the facts, and it's just bad. But otherwise, corruption in Illinois, Mr. Pritzker, uh, we can
Oh
talk
boy,
about him, but
I love Pritzker.
specifically, yeah, one thing that really shows how he feels about our state and everything is the fact that um crap when COVID and this everything started, he just shut our state down and then went to Wisconsin to go on a vacation, and it's just shows where his priorities are. He doesn't care about the state at all.
I mean,
And
he's out. He's out. He's not even in Illinois anymore. How is he, as the governor of our state, gonna shut us all up in shutters and then just dip? Like, you're the leader of this country. I think you should have to stand in here with us. Like, come on.
yeah, but he doesn't care. It's just
Clearly not.
no, not at all. All right, so next, what are we doing during COVID here, eh?
Well,
Who should start with this?
when this whole quarantine started, I was like, well, I'm gonna be home a lot. Might as well go try getting a job. Applied at Menards, got hired. Been working there since like April 15th. So pretty much 5 days a week, 8 hours every day for the past, what would it be, like 3 or 4 months now, almost. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty much the majority of what I've been doing this whole time. So how about you?
Um, So when COVID started, I was still doing school, so I was just trying to focus on school necessarily in the morning and um, get good grades, and they all turned out to be A's and B's. So there's that. After that, I would just do nothing, be playing games because I'm not old enough for a job, I believe yet. But yeah, um, play games, and then recently I've been going to Six Flags and swimming, and that's really about it. Yeah,
Not too much to live in a life right
no,
now. Everything's shuttered
especially
up.
especially in our state when I think our COVID cases have been getting a little better. Yet, we're still in phase 4 out of 5. Like, please open phase 5. I want to go see Be More Chill on Chicago Broadway. Like,
I mean, you
please.
think about it though. When they released this whole phase schedule, it said phase 5 will not be released until either a vaccine is discovered, which we all know is going to take years because that's how vaccines work. And it was either a vaccine gets created or COVID pretty much just dies, like as
And that's
in
not gonna
no
happen,
more
dude.
cases. I mean, that's not going
Dude,
to happen for years to come. I mean, it's essentially the
it's
flu.
not.
Where did the flu go? What do?
And,
We had a vaccine. We moved on. But here's the deal. I mean, COVID is ruining many lives right now. Obviously, I feel for the people who are, actually affected by COVID, like they're getting infected and they're caught sick and everything. I mean, that sucks,
mhm.
but there are a lot of people that are not as affected by it, and I feel like there shouldn't be select voices that get to make the call for everybody. I think everybody should kind of get their own individual choice. What do I want to do? How do I want to do it on my own,
Right.
choice? I don't think we should be told everybody has to lock down. Everybody has to make sure that they aren't getting outside in public. I mean, a lot of people I know personally would love to be out doing everything they would normally do right now. They aren't phased by COVID, but they can't do that because they don't get that choice.
Right. Um, and with COVID, I keep hearing this from my stepfather. There's a 98% false positive rate with COVID tests, which means that like um a lot of people are being tested for COVID and saying that they do have COVID, yet they don't. And that information is probably most likely being forwarded on to some officials, and then that's what's really screwing us over is these false COVID cases, and we're still in lockdown and all that kind of crap. Yeah.
I mean, even let's just say that every single COVID test that ran positive was actually positive. You have to consider when they're making these stats and they put COVID deaths on there. I mean, these are not just deaths that are caused specifically by COVID with no other influence. A lot
Hmm.
of these are from people who happen to have a heart attack or a seizure or many other things while infected with COVID. So since they had COVID, they're putting those people on the list, but a lot of them truly don't belong there, and it's creating false numbers and it's scaring everybody. But realistically, that's just not exactly the case as far as straightforward numbers go.
And it's really all a giant big circle back to media too, because like I've seen reports and cases of like, oh, COVID outbreak in a nursing home kills multiple people. And it's like, it's not necessarily COVID that killed them all. It's the fact that they're all older people that obviously had some sort of issue where they couldn't care for themselves. And COVID's the last straw that made them lose their life. And it's like
And
the
I mean,
media
it's
doesn't,
unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but at the same
of
time,
course.
these aren't things that we should be pushing out to anybody that watches the news. I mean, what 10-year-old kid is going to open up the news and he hears, oh, COVID kills entire nursing home? I mean, sometimes that's just simply not the case because they passed away from other causes as well. This disease is not going to have, or this virus is not going to have the same effect on an average 10-year-old as it is going to have on an elderly person who cannot exactly care for themselves in the first place, nonetheless, with the virus that is messing with them too.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. And kids in general are becoming very, very skittish, and things are changing in the society. Like, you can an adult can just wave and be nice to a little child walking by, and they're perceived as like a pedophile or something bad like that. Um, what else? I mean, they're becoming more skittish. They don't want to talk to people, look at people, whatever, because they're so isolated in this house. And yeah, that's that's all I have to say. I don't got more.
It's ruining a lot of things right now. I mean, even stuff that has nothing to do with a virus whatsoever is now being affected by this, and I just think it's getting a little out of hand pretty quickly here. I mean, it was months ago, but now it's starting to get to the point where I'm just like, can we just leave it alone, please? We don't need to be creating all these issues that don't need to be created just because there happens to be a deadly virus going around.
100%. All right, all right. So, kind of a stupid question, but not really, that I put down on our little page for things to talk about. Are we staying safe? Yes, we're staying. I'm staying safe with my mask. I have a gator, a couple masks. Yeah.
Am I staying safe? I'd say I'm doing my best to stay safe. I wear a mask when I'm in public most times. Sometimes I take it off because it get a little hot, but I'm not too worried. I mean, at work, I wear it 8 hours straight every day because it's policy. You don't let any customers into the store, so why would they let employees walk around without masks? But I do work at a retail store where literally anybody from the entire world can walk in there. So who knows what people are tracking in. So obviously, working with the public during a virus, I wouldn't exactly call that doing my best job to stay safe, but money is money, and I'm not too concerned. So I'll gladly do that, even if I'm taking a little bit of a risk that somebody's going to carry it in to the store.
Yeah, and I
gotta live my life somehow.
Yeah, and I gotta wear my mask and all that crap because I got my nephew that's 7 months old in one day, and like even if I don't feel like COVID's so serious necessarily, like I don't want to track in flu or anything of that sorts. Got to protect him because I love seeing him.
Yep. Obviously, it'll come close to your heart when your family is something that you're thinking about right there. Like, oh, I don't want to put anybody in danger that I don't have to. If I have the option to keep them safer, let's do that.
Right. All right, all right. So our last topic of the recent topic segment. Will Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas be canceled? All right, I think we should go on like one by one here. So let's start with Halloween.
You want me to go?
All right, I'll go first here. So I personally think Halloween itself, like maybe like gatherings like Fright Fest or something, could be canceled or altered. But the main thing of Halloween that people do is trick or treat. I mean, I wouldn't say that gathers a lot of people in one area. I mean, one area could be the whole neighborhood, but they're not condensedly packed together. As I think people could still dress up, or little kids can dress up, put a mask on, and go get candy because I think it would be in the arms of the people going out. I mean, they're taking their own risk going out, and the homeowners that are giving out candy are taking their own risk giving out candy to so many people that possibly could have it, and vice versa. Kids going to so many houses of candy that could have it, and it trails because people get candy from the store. The store has so many people coming through it in one day and could have possible germs on it. And you don't know where the candy comes from. Maybe it comes from like China or something that's completely out of our arms. I mean, so yeah, that's what I think about Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be hard to do stuff that typically happens around Halloween, like haunted houses and stuff. I mean, if you ever been to a haunted house, you know how it is in there. There's no way that they'd be able to pull that off with every single jump scare, everything being 6 feet apart. I mean, that's not going to scare you. The scary part is when someone sticks their face 2 inches from your own. That's scary, but 6 feet distance, I don't know. Even the passageways inside of a haunted house and stuff, it's going to be tight usually. So 6 feet, make sure every guest can stay 6 feet apart from each other. I mean, that's going to be a nightmare for them to try setting up. I
Right, and
mean,
I was talking to my mom about like haunted houses per se. Maybe not all the haunted houses will be open, but like maybe like one or two with plexiglass or some sort of protective kind of thing to that. But even at that, it's still not scary. But it also depends on exactly how you execute an idea, because you can have like some sort of zombie themed haunted house with them banging on fences and they never actually get to you, but it's so dark and you can't see them, and strobe lights, whatever that crap is.
there are things that could be done, obviously, but is Halloween going to be canceled? No, probably not. But will it heavily differ from how
No,
it's been in the past? Absolutely. It probably will be a
absolutely.
lot different.
All right, so Thanksgiving. I'll let you start this one.
Thanksgiving. I mean, mostly Thanksgiving usually just leads up to one big meal with your family. And I think that as far as will it be canceled or not, it's going to be up to each individual family. Do we want to host Thanksgiving dinner? How many people are we going to have over? How is this going to work? I mean, it's going to be a complete and total individual decision for every single family. What are we going to do?
Mhm.
You know?
And yeah, and I see families just saying like screw it and already having giant outings and parties. So I don't think it's going to affect Thanksgiving at all.
Black Friday, though,
Christmas.
that's a different
Oh,
story.
that is a different story. I forgot about Black Friday.
Black Friday is going to be a fun one.
Black Friday is no longer be named Black Friday after recent events.
Yeah, that's a sketchy name. Might need to be changed.
Oh my god, let's start a petition. Let's riot!
No Black Friday.
No Black Friday. um, yeah, okay, Christmas. Christmas, it's very similar to Thanksgiving. It's pretty much just a meeting up with your family and having a giant meal or a meal. I don't think the core aspect of Christmas will be canceled, and it's up to the individual families. But like public outings, like Christmas tree lightings and going to see
That's
Santa.
the difference, I feel like, because you look at Halloween and Christmas, both of them essentially have a massive 1 month lead up, the whole
Hmm.
Christmas season or the whole Halloween season, whereas Thanksgiving is usually not exactly glorified in the same way. So I
Right.
feel like, again, it's going to be a family decision as far as the dinner goes, but major things, like you said, like tree lightings or things like that, might lack a little bit, but not a whole lot of gathering usually going on. So I feel like
Right.
Christmas won't be affected too much,
I,
but
I think it's the same thing as Halloween. No, but maybe at the same time.
I guess we'll
I mean, you're
see
right about that. You're right about
what
that lead
happens. I
up.
mean, the world's going to change a lot from now until Christmas. I mean, we have no
Oh
idea
yeah,
what's going to happen
probably.
within the next 4 months. So
People say
we'll have to see
2020 is
once we get
the worst
closer.
year. Yeah, people say 2020 is the worst year, but like, what's to come in 2021? Who knows? I know I start school next week. Shit. um.
Coming up on
So
you.
yeah, I don't want to go back to school and do e-learning, but I am getting a new computer tomorrow. Well, I mean,
That's what you'll love to see.
school mandated, I should say. It's my own computer. Alrighty. That I think that tops the recent subjects. All right, Tim, you ready to move on to something that you've been probably waiting 44 minutes to talk about?
I mean, yeah, the itch can finally be itched. Bring it on.
All right. Before we do this, hold up. Hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. This is taking a little too long. There we go. That's a color.
It's golden.
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Like we discussed a little earlier in the podcast, I am 100% sure this is gonna take a good amount of time, but I'm down for it. Down for the count. Got me. Helpless. Ooh. Dude, you're not gonna know the references I make, but like it's gonna spark something in your head from watching it.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, eventually I'll watch it more. I've only watched it fully through one time now, and I've watched a couple scenes over, just stuff I was interested in, but haven't watched it a second time fully through. So once I start to watch it again and I start to pick up on smaller things, then the references that you make will become more clear to me.
Yep, like death doesn't discriminate. I know you don't get it, but you will.
Ha 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 ha
Ha ha. Okay, general thoughts. So what do you overall think about Hamilton? But that's not spoiling much because we got a couple of topics we're going to be going into here, and obviously stemming more into.
I mean, general overlook. When someone says, "How's Hamilton?" What's the first thing that pops into my head? And I guess I could say very it's very broad, I feel like. I mean, even the style of music differs. I mean, it's mostly going to be rap, but there are some other songs and types of music that's featured, so that it broadens it that way. The acting, specifically the Broadway cast, is phenomenal. I mean, I really liked it.
The OBC, the
So,
original Broadway cast. I would like
so
to say, I mean, I'm sure you know this, but they do have multiple different casts over the years that it's been playing on Broadway right now. So like you're gonna find a completely different cast than what's on Broadway right now. But my general thoughts is it's an amazing piece of musical theater art. That's what I'd say. And okay, before we like generally go into Hamilton, are there any things that you want to know or don't understand about it that I can answer? Any questions?
I mean, first question about what we're talking about here. I mean, am I allowed to talk about the plot in any way
Of
where
course, of
someone who
course.
might not have watched it could have it spoiled for them? Is that okay? Can I talk about that?
Um, yeah, actually, yeah,
Your discretion is
we.
advised. If you have not seen it, skip past this segment of the
I mean,
podcast.
this is a spoiler alert, but I mean, this is also American history. So if you didn't get taught this in your classes, then I don't know what to say. Yeah. Spoiler alert: Hamilton dies.
I mean,
You
you
should
do
know that.
learn that in the first, 5 minutes of it, but it's the whole thing, man. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
It's an experience, and you know, it kind of makes me cry when watching it. But I feel like if I was in the theater watching those scenes, I'd not be in tears. Okay, okay. Any other
So
questions?
since spoilers are on the table, the one thing that I
Right.
will ask you, I've asked you this personally, but you didn't give me a full answer. So I'm gonna ask it to you publicly, so everybody that wants to can hear it. Why is it that in the hundreds of people I've heard talk about Hamilton and how they love it, why have I never heard anybody say how sad it actually is? I mean, it's kind of sad looking at it from certain
Okay.
perspectives, and I feel like a
I
lot of people bypass that when they discuss it.
I took it. When you asked me this, I took it very differently from what you were probably talking, because I thought you were talking about why is Hamilton sad because you sent me a picture of like after the Reynolds pamphlet. No, after it's during It's Quiet Uptown or before that, whatever, where Philip dies. I thought you were mean. It's a different mean. But why is Hamilton sad?
talking about
or
the
like
film as a whole, not the
yeah,
character. If that makes
yeah.
sense.
I thought it was the character when you were sent me that on Snapchat. No, anyway, I believe it's because it's really not foreshadowed. It's overshadowed by how trendy and the music is, and how well written the show is, and the tiny nuances that really add up to the big picture in the story, and all these little things that make it such a great piece of art is what overshadows the part that it's a sad story of Hamilton's life at the root of it, really.
I mean, yeah, the massive plot line is that he's sad, but I feel like a lot of people focus on even scenes. Like, there's a lot of people that have probably heard certain clips of music from it, but they might not know any of the context that went into that song based on what was happening before and after it. So they like the song, they don't know the story, so it doesn't really occur to them, you know? I feel like that could
Mm-hmm.
have some impact on it.
Right. Favorite song or songs? I'll let you go into this one. I want to know what you think on most of these things because you're new to it.
All right, so I can tell for a fact right now, I don't know hardly any song names
Just
whatsoever.
pop me a
But
lyric.
I
Just pop
do,
me a lyric, and I can probably name it.
I do know one. I do know one. The
I
best
wonder what
song,
it is.
whole thing, best song. One Last Time. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, dude. I was like crying, dude. I was like, oh my gosh, don't do this. Like George Washington, man,
Chris Jackson's voice is smooth as
dude.
hell.
This man. Every time I feel like if I had to pick one person to sing me to sleep at night, I'd give him a call. I'd be like, yo, come over and sing me a riff real quick. But
For sure.
the whole scene is just beautiful because it goes from Hamilton being in like a decent mood, like, okay, yeah, Thomas Jefferson, he's out of here. Let's go. Let's write this address. Let's slam him. And then he quickly finds out that actually the exact opposite thing is going to happen. And I feel like just watching that, it's just like kind of you're watching Hamilton's mind, like, what's going on here? And like he sings that song so well. It's just
He
the
does.
whole thing, man. It's the whole thing. How about you? What's your favorite song?
Oh, there's quite a few, so I'm gonna go through the soundtrack right here on my phone and tell you them. All right. So first we got. I like the Schuyler Sisters. It's a really good introduction to the Schuyler Sisters. You'll
Okay.
Be Back from The King. Ooh, did your camera cut off? Did you mean that?
Oh yeah. I'm just doing something real quick.
Oh, all right. Yeah, You'll Be Back. Oh, I love it. I can do a perfect impression. Satisfied.
That's a good one.
Guns and Ships. Yorktown. What I Miss. What did I miss? The Room Where It Happens. Washington on Your Side. The Adams Administration. The Reynolds Pamphlet. And The World Was Wide Enough. Those are my favorite Hamilton songs.
It's a lot. I mean, if we were to sit here and waste, an hour going through all these songs and playing them, you definitely see what I was talking about earlier with the broad spectrum of music involved. Guns and Ships, for example, it's a rap song, very good rap song. However, One Last Time or The World Was Wide Enough, those are a lot slower, more in the feel type of songs, and they're just gonna use a lot more expression in their voice.
Just like the King George songs.
Yeah, it's just a very funny, kind of uplifting, comic relief almost, it seems.
Oh, also, you need to listen to my cover again now that you've seen Hamilton.
Okay, yeah, I can get the full comparison going.
Oh, 100%, my dude.
Shout out, look on his channel. He covered.
It's an unlisted video, so you will not find it.
Post it now. after we're out of here, I want you to post it. This is going to release at the same time as the podcast, and everybody that comes here is also going to go there. It's going to be great. He's a great singer. He's a great singer.
That's
He's
what
a
I
great
think.
singer.
Yeah, that's what I think. Or what he.
Give it a
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. All right. Next thing I wrote is your favorite scene, and I think I should be a little clearer. I know Hamilton is literally like all music, but what's your favorite scene, like dialogue and like actual acting, instead of focusing on the riffs and the falsettos and all the musical theater crap?
I mean, looking at it, my favorite scene, I mean, the most compelling scene to me personally, this was the first part that really hit me when I was watching it. And it was the scene where Philip he was going to go into a duel. And he was asking his dad, what can I do? And his dad gave him all the words of wisdom. He went out there, he did everything, and he got shot. And he ended up dying. And
Do you
that, to me,
understand
it
what
was just
happened in
really
that scene?
sad. Like, the whole the whole thing. Like what happened is, for those of you that don't know, is he got ready to go into the duel and he was going to turn around and shoot his gun up into the air, which was basically, I'm not going to kill this man, I'm done. And typically the other person seeing this would follow suit and also shoot their gun in the air, and the duel is over and done with. They're not going to kill each other. But George still shot his gun and killed Philip after Philip shot the air. And it was just really sad because he was like, obviously he died, so this didn't actually happen, but he was like singing to his dad in the afterlife, like, I did everything you said. His dad's like, I know you did. And it was sad, it was sad. Compelling. I love the acting in that scene. Philip, I don't know who plays him. I don't know the names yet, but Philip, he does a very good job of
Anthony Ramos.
expressing his nervousness leading up to it. And that's the part that really makes you feel what happens when he gets shot, because he's nervous, he's scared, and then his exact fear comes true, and it's just like, no.
Yeah, and you didn't mention this, but it goes deeper than that. So what you doing now? Tim, your
I'm getting
camera.
a drink, homie.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so are you paying attention? Because I want you to hear this.
I'm absolutely paying attention. I will always be paying attention.
Okay, so previously in a song, Eliza is teaching Philip how to count. You know, the set way in the yeah, you get what I mean, right?
That.
Yeah, something like that. So pretty much Philip always messed up his counting when Eliza was teaching him, and in the duel, George Eaker actually shot at 7 and not 10. So Philip always thought, or like up to his death, Philip was thinking that he miscounted, and
But
he
he
was at
didn't.
fault.
He did not miscount.
He didn't.
He was actually fired on early. See, that part kind of flew over my head. I was so focused on everything else that was going on that I wasn't paying attention to that, actually. So good call on that. But I mean, the scene still is compelling in the same way that he did everything right personally. It just, the other side,
I've seen so
did not
many
exactly help him.
TikTok videos of like, yeah. I'll play this for you before I get into what my favorite scene is. All right, just listen to it. Right.
Copyright, this is not ours. We do not own this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. We don't own it, obviously. Anyway, you were talking, but let me replay. Okay, here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So 7, then he
7.
shot.
7 and it's over instead of 10, which is what he was taught leading up to this.
Right. Anyway, so my favorite scene would have to be It's Quiet Uptown and Stay Alive. Like right before Philip's death, and Eliza like lets out that huge scream and gasp Like,
Do you know what was up with that? I honestly don't know why she gasped so hard. Is it because she realized that the
we're,
7 was on the shot? Why did she gasp so loud at the end? Was it
because her son
pain?
just died. It's
But like
pain.
leading up to it, she was kind of acting like she was going to be okay. And then all of a sudden at the end, she just lets it out. And it's like you can feel, I feel like that's just absolute pain. Like
Oh
she
yeah,
was trying to cope with it. And then she just realized this is not going to be easy for me moving forward. You know, her husband just had an affair and then her son dies. So what does she have left, right? And then
yeah.
right after that, Hamilton comes up to her and says, "Hey, I know I messed up, but let's get through this together. Let's try this again." So I feel like that's a little bit of a help in the healing process for her, but still a very traumatic event to get over
That
immediately following
scene, yeah, that
something else
scene
traumatic.
was just very, very sad for me, and that's what really tugged at my strings. Those were some great acting in those scenes,
Absolutely.
for sure. Next topic: favorite actors, actors.
Mm,
I'll go first. I really loved David Diggs as Lafayette and
as
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
He did an amazing job. I would laugh so much, and I enjoyed listening to that. Anthony Ramos as Philip and Lawrence, that was really good. Of course, Lynn as Hamilton. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was good.
he does
And
he
also,
doesn't sing very much.
Jonathan Groff as the
That
King. I love that.
man was a
Yeah,
clown, dude.
yeah. He was great. Also, he spit a lot. Anyway, yeah, and then George Washington, of course.
I mean, Christopher Jackson, dude. That man is just on another planet for me.
He was in
He's probably
Moana.
easily my favorite actor out of everybody. I mean, Leslie Odom Jr., he did really well in the role of Aaron Burr, but I feel like he could have potentially shown a little bit more emotion in it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the emotion really only came out at the end. Something that also maybe tugged on my heartstrings a little bit is during the election of 1800. Um, Hamilton and Burr have this moment like, I'm chasing what I love, and I learned that from you. And right after that, Hamilton completely publicly slanders Burr and is like, and doesn't vote for him, and you could see his face kind of like be like, "Damn, you really just did that to me, Hamilton."
Yeah, I mean that's a sad moment. And then it's even worse because the same thing happens again.
Hmm.
Jefferson gets so happy I got Hamilton's vote. Then Hamilton dies. Jefferson, well, looks like I can be president. So,
Right.
I mean, not a lot of empathy shown there as far as feeling bad for the deceased, but that's just always a sad situation when somebody does not show you the love and care that you feel like you deserve in the moment.
And something that completely different. Did you know that one of Hamilton's descendants and sons was actually the divorce attorney for Aaron Burr when he was divorcing Theodosia? So
That's
it's
fun.
kind of like a full circle moment. Ooh, and
I
muted
mean,
himself.
yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of funny because it's like karma in a way, you know? Like,
yeah,
you do this to me, or if you want to get involved in my problems, we're going to get involved in yours, you know?
yeah. Are you playing for? Oh no, I thought I heard like something in the background. Hello, you're
Man, you
back.
think I
Hello.
can play Fortnite in the middle of a live stream? Come on.
Maybe. I mean, we haven't done this before, so who knows? I was tempted of putting the live stream up on my Xbox and to see how it would come out, but I didn't.
See what it looks
All
like from a
right.
viewer perspective.
Yeah. Saddest moment. I think we kind of already went over this. For me, it's quiet uptown when Philip dies.
I mean, saddest moment, definitely that. But saddest song, I feel like the song that they used for that scene wasn't exactly the worst. I mean, going
Mhm.
through the unimaginable, right? It's pretty
Yeah, it's
sad,
quite
but compelling song wise, still Thomas Jefferson, man. When he sings that song one last time, that song personally was the saddest for me, but
You
saddest
mean
scene
George
was
Washington?
definitely George Washington, yes, not Thomas Jefferson. Still new. Don't make fun of me. Don't come for me. At least he's right. He's right here to keep me on a straight and forward path, so I don't
Yeah,
stray too much from what I know what I'm talking about.
exactly. um, yeah. So, the best moments. There's quite a lot, but I really love the end with Eliza's gasp because in that whole ending sequence, y- uh, Ham, um, Lin Manuel Miranda drops the Hamilton act. Well, what I believe to be true is that it's Lin on stage, and Lin is the one that grabs Eliza's hand, and Lin is leading her to the fourth wall and breaking the fourth wall. And when she actually does, she sees that there's so many people in this theater that are here to see her husband's story that she lived on, and it just makes her gasp because it's kind of a serious moment, and I think that's one of the best moments. And also with that, something that you'll realize when going back and watching and re-listening, all of Eliza's songs are not as upbeat and fast and as quick as the other songs because Eliza had her life to tell his story and keep the legacy on when all the others necessarily didn't and died at a young age or age that's not ideal. I think Eliza lived to be 97.
Right, she had a life to live after all this happened. Everybody else just kind of moved
Hmm.
on. And I mean, another thing about that scene is like kind of the general theme is that Hamilton always feels as though he's running out of time. And so everything that he does is kind of what do I want and how can I get this in the fastest way possible? And it's like almost like she realizes when she comes to the end, she's like, he ran out of time. Is he satisfied? Did he get what he wanted? And it's like when she steps out and she sees all these people watching the story of her husband, it's like she's in a moment. Did he get what he wanted? And she's trying to understand how would he be feeling right now, seeing what I'm
Hmm.
seeing almost. That's up for
Right.
interpretation, but I feel like any way you do take it could be.
Another best moment is always when at the beginning and the end of the show when they're in one giant line and they're one and equal. That's that just is like damn kind of a moment. So okay, is that your best moment or do you have another best moment?
I mean, best moment. Gotta be honest, one watch through, right? One watch through.
Mm-hmm.
As far as things that stick out to me, I've pretty much said like what comes to mind. So when I think about a best moment, I feel like one watch through of the show does not necessarily do justice to the significance of certain events as far as how I view them. So in general, best moment, I'd have to look into that a little bit more. Maybe we can continue to have a little bit more of discussion about this in future episodes, this
Mm-hmm.
being the main chunk, but being my first time, there's still going to be a lot more to talk about in the future. So, I mean, my best moment in the entire show probably would be.
I
I'm just
wonder.
stalling right now because I got to think about this one, because I don't want to say something. Everybody's like, what? That's stupid.
The Hamilton fandom is genuinely a little toxic, but I doubt they're gonna see this unless I do post this in the group. Because there's a Hamilton group with like 100,000 people in it.
I think you should do that. I think that sounds like a play.
I think I should. But I'm gonna get flamed because of our conservative views.
Oh well. Oh well.
It's worth it, all right. It's worth it.
Hey,
If you're If you're coming from the Hamilton fan group, hi, how are ya? um,
This is who we are, and we're proud of it. We like
yeah,
Hamilton. You like Hamilton. Let's stay on
I
that
mean,
basis. We
and
all like Hamilton.
clearly, just because we are at the opposite end of the political spectrum doesn't mean that we completely hate this work of art. But we will go into a little more sensitive topics that are still on the to-do list of things to do.
Starting with
how accurately does this portray the story and the real
the
history?
particular significant events were accurate. You know,
Mhm.
his son dying, him dying. I mean, everything was pretty accurate. I mean, I feel like they definitely made a little bit bigger of a deal out of Angelica and Hamilton than there ever really needed to be.
Mhm.
I was doing some reading. A lot of people are like, yeah, that whole thing did not actually happen. She did like love him, but she never like pursued anything that would potentially
But on the
risk the marriage of
opposite,
him and Eliza.
did you know Hamilton and John Lawrence had an actual gay kind of thing going on?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, but I do believe it does accurately portray history. Besides some things, um, like I think Lin-Manuel Miranda had a little bit of bias because he saw Hamilton as sort of a father figure, and because of this, he couldn't portray Hamilton in a bad light if he wanted to, per se. Um, I mean, I don't think it affected it in the long run, but he didn't touch on things like how Hamilton did buy and sell slaves for people in his family, because slaves seem to be a major topic. But yeah, also how Angelica and the Schuyler sisters aren't just sisters; they were a whole bunch of brothers too. But there's specifically a line that is completely false. You know, like my father has a son, so I'm the one who has a social climb for one. That's completely wrong.
I mean, you want to talk about
Yeah,
history stuff that actually happened, and you want to talk about lines being incorrect. There are a ton of lines that have more modernized things involved in them that obviously would not have even been conceived back then.
of
So,
course.
I mean, obviously that's all part of music. You know, you gotta say
Can we
what's gonna
talk
rhyme.
about, is Lin-Manuel Miranda a time traveler? Because this story is still relevant in like 5 years later. Plus.
Jokes on us, he was Hamilton.
Oh crap, he's Hamilton re-embodied.
Yeah, he's reincarnated as Hamilton, but playing Hamilton. He's now playing his past self. So he just happens to know exactly what happened, in which case everything is 110% accurate, right?
Mm-hmm. Should Hamilton be this popular? As popular?
Uh, as we discussed earlier, before I watched it, no, I did not think it was supposed to be ever this popular. I didn't like it. I didn't like a lot of the music even at the time. But since then, my music taste has changed a lot. So, and then when I finally watched it and I put it in context with the songs, I was like, this one does kind of slap. I think a lot of people should definitely watch this if you got nothing else to do. I definitely think that it deserves its popularity at this point because it's a very good piece of art, as you said.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Because before I thought that the only thing that made it popular is the fact that the leading characters are people of color, and that kind of still does stick with it. But I see it for more than just that. The acting, the songs, the writing, the blocking, everything that goes into the musical theater is just Hamilton perfects, and it's amazing. Um, Next one. Is Hamilton popular just because it puts people of color in the spotlight? Like I just touched on that, but what are you thinking?
Personally, when I watched it, I did not have that in my head at any point in time ever.
Hmm.
I never considered that. I mean, in my opinion, you have a great singer, absolutely great singer and great actor. And if you think that they're going to fit the role, then of course they're going to get the role. Black or white or any other race that they could have cast in, I feel like they're going to make the best casting.
That's how Broadway works too.
So personally, I don't think that it necessarily has anything to do with that. But I mean, some people might have that in their head. That might be why they watched it, but that personally wasn't why I watched it or what compelled me to watch it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that because people of color are leads is the main reason at all. I do think it has a little bit to do with, a little bit to do with the popularity of it, but it's not the main contributing factor at all by any means. And yeah, all right. So the only roles for non people of color are Ensemble and King George. And is this a problem? Because when it comes to this, King George is supposed to be the villain and portrayed as this idiot per se. They portray him, they make fun of him in the musical per se and how it's written and everything like that. And is this bad that the only role for a non-person of color is someone who is portrayed as the villain and made fun of? Or is it ensemble for non-people of color? Because non-ensemble, yes, they are a huge thing to making a musical theater production, and they make it popular. You can't just have a show with just leads and it be popular. I mean, in some cases you can, but I'm saying they're just generally like least liked roles per se.
Right. I mean, personally, I don't think it's a problem at all that they chose the casting that they did. I mean, they're going to choose who they think is best. Like I said, it just so happened that all the roles that they chose, for the most part, were that. I don't think that them casting a white guy as King George was in any way meant to place white people as an enemy or anything like that. I don't think that that was something that was done intentionally just to bring attention to something like that. I personally don't think it's a problem.
Right, but at the same time, you can't necessarily say that it was for historical accuracy, because yes, King George was white, but so were many of the main people in the show. So I think that's all I can really say on the topic.
Yeah. Well, let's move on.
Should schools have productions of Hamilton?
I feel like they could do it. There'd have to be a lot of stuff that would be taken out probably. I mean, a lot of schools don't permit any sort of violence at all in their plays. So, I mean, how are you going to create a situation where 2 duels occur and both times somebody gets shot and dies? I feel like that would be difficult to portray without the act of violence itself being featured.
I mean, that's true, but I believe that it would it'd be different since it's history, and I don't know, they would have some sort of different rules and terms for that. But yeah, I think definitely schools should have productions of Hamilton, because the music's amazing, and that's really music, acting, all that's amazing. But yeah,
the other thing is there's a lot more that goes on with Hamilton. A lot of stuff that it would be kind of difficult to put together in some high school theaters. I feel like a lot of them don't have any of the stuff to put on a production as big as Hamilton. Even,
I'm sure that things can be substituted, but like you're gonna have some good choreographers and some good directors to really make this be a good production.
Right, because one of the main things that they used specifically in the recording was that centerpiece that rotated around in a circle. I mean, I can't think of any schools even in my area that have anything like that even moves at all. So they'd have to completely change the whole vibe of that scene a lot of scenes that use that
Right.
substitute it somehow and keep the same energy.
I'm sure if the choreographer is good, then you could substitute that with, something that's just as intriguing and popular. But some storytelling and some of the narrative could be a little confused because in the show it spins a certain way to represent that time is moving, and the other way that it's going back. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it. So same kind of topic. School productions may not have lead people of color in the casting because obviously there's not enough theater kids that are people of color that would portray the leads. So would this necessarily be an issue?
No, because like I said earlier, with what you have available, you're going to make the right casting call, in your opinion. And they chose people of color for the big production, but at a smaller level, they're going to choose whoever they want. Like, for example, at certain schools, when they put on a musical, they're going to put on a musical that have people of color in the leads. They're not always people of color in the school productions. I mean, that's never been a thing in the past, so I don't know why it would become a thing necessarily with Hamilton specifically.
Right. I exactly what you said, but I do think, because my director is very like loony and has an opinion of her own, and she's very all about things, and I think most theater directors are very outgoing and things like that, and they would intentionally cast people of color as a lead to try and bring in something, which could be an issue, but it really isn't at the same time because I think that they will stick to it and stick to what's who's best for the role. I don't know. I'm getting a little off subject.
I mean, again, that's the same thing that we'd say. I mean, like I said, each individual school, if they were going to put on a production of Hamilton, they'd have to make their own adjustments based on what they have available. That's going to be the same thing as far as casting goes. Each individual school is going to make their own call on what they want to put in their personal show,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's just kind of along the same line there of personal choice for a school and the director and everything.
Yeah. So, it's already 8:12. So, is there any other Hamilton topics you want to bring up or talk about that we didn't cover?
Not for right now, but I can say definitely right here, right now, 110% that we will continue to talk about Hamilton throughout the length of this podcast as we move forward, because there's so much to talk about. We're not going to fit it in one episode. So
Right.
I'll make sure I watch it again and we can keep this going. And it can just be kind of just, let's talk about it whenever we want, Anything new that comes up, we can definitely feature.
100%. So I guess that's about it for our Hamilton segment here. I know it's sad, but we've
It was
been
like
on
a half-hour segment.
Yeah, I know, but this is the main topic of this podcast, so it makes sense.
This is what the title is. This is what everybody came to see.
What the thumbnail is for, and unfortunately, that's the end for now. But guess what? We will be talking about Hamilton in future episodes, so that gives you a reason to like, comment, subscribe, and come back.
Yes, do all of the above because we need the support so we can keep this going.
We very much do. And I plan on just uploading and recording more videos on my channel in general, maybe some vlogs. If Timothy or Tim is ever allowed to come to Six Flags again.
Six Flags vlogs are coming.
Hopefully, we can record ourselves riding Demon and getting kicked off Demon. Other topics for podcasts. What you thinking, man?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of untouched political stuff that we could feature. in the future.
Mhm.
But I mean, obviously, this is our podcast. We can talk about whatever we want to. But I feel like it would also be nice if anybody that watches gave us suggestions on things that they want to hear from us. And we could definitely utilize their suggestions and move forward and talk
Oh
about
yeah.
those things. Because obviously, we're going to talk about what we want to talk about, but we can't just make our own ideas all the time. We'd like to see some community involvement here.
You know, I was thinking too. We're both very musical theater people. I was thinking, I mean, for another podcast, maybe we can have another show be the main topic and talk, this much
Right. We
about
can
it,
just,
or
find out some different musicals and stuff like that and just,
we can add a segment for musicals in general. Like if it's not big enough or it doesn't warrant a full episode, a full discussion like we did here with Hamilton, we can talk for like 15-20 minutes about it. What do we think about it? Best characters, yada yada yada. Kind of like the introduction to our Hamilton here before we got into more like political stuff, you could say. So that's definitely a topic. But yeah, leave suggestions. And even if you're watching from the Facebook group here, and if you didn't already click off since we ended the Hamilton segment, give me suggestions in the comments of the post too. Next thing, possible podcast guests, eh?
I mean, personally, I'd be willing to have just about anybody come on here about various topics. Like we could have a political guest, like you mentioned earlier, maybe have a debate or something. We find another theater nerd that would also like to get involved in certain
Oh yeah,
discussions about other musicals and stuff. I mean, that's always on the table. I mean, anything's possible.
oh yeah, 100%.
So does that
And
mean
I
that
was
if
seeing,
anybody that's viewing right now is interested in being a possible guest, leave a comment, let us know. We will reach out to you and see what we can set up.
I was also thinking some people in our local theater productions. If you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Ringmaster. Holy crap, I need to plug my Chromebook in. It's at 2%. I don't want this stream to die. Oh, crap.
Just so you all know, I've never seen it move this fast before.
All right, we're good. We're good. Okay.
I'm on full battery. I've been charging the whole time. Imagine.
Oh, of course. Mine was at like 50%, and since I charge my Chromebook every night, it gets run down, and the battery gets ran down. So before I had to quickly grab my charger. So Mr. Ringmaster, I think it'd be cool to have him or people like him on the podcast if this eventually goes somewhere, and we can have like a solid topic of some sort that could have him in it.
If
That'd
he's
be cool.
interested.
Yeah. Imagine an hour 30 of talking with Mr. Ringmaster here.
Oh man.
That'd
be a heck of a time.
I saw him today at Six Flags.
Oh yeah, was he running the slide?
No. Well, okay, my mom saw him and talked to him, and he was on break, but I was off doing something else with our family friend. Otherwise, we were just sitting about to eat our cheesecake, and we just see him walk by, and he's like, "Oh, hi guys." Pretty nice.
I never thought he could make that high pitch of a noise.
Oh, he didn't. He was more like, "Oh, hi guys," kind of like that. He's awesome. He's just as awesome.
Always will be.
Any other topics we should discuss on this podcast? We kind of already went over this, so I guess just rewind a couple minutes if you want to go back to that topic, eh? So we'd like to thank our podcast sponsor again, Hades_the_ Siberian Husky on Instagram. Follow him for some cute videos and pics with some sneak peeks of my nephew Aiden Everything's cute over there. She always takes very good pictures with her very expensive iPhones.
I mean, trust me, if you're ever sitting alone and you're like, I'm bored, what do? You want to open up Instagram and there's just nothing good on there. Wouldn't you love to see a absolutely beautiful dog popping up on your feed every once in a while? I mean, how could you resist?
Absolutely.
That's just an absolute dopamine hit right there. Just make sure you're following them. They'll pop up on your feed. It's all good.
Yeah, for 100%. And bear with me. I'm gonna put his on the screen. Siberian Husky.
First podcast attempt here. This is all in one run, by the way. We did not practice at all before this. So everything you're seeing is in fact raw. So
Hades,
still some
Siberian
hiccups
Husky.
we're working out. But we're getting there.
All right. We got to make this special too. Let me just change the color to Hades color. Yeah, a little grayish, a little blackish. There we go. Right. I just like to say thanks everyone for tuning in. If you actually did tune in and decide to stick and watch the whole podcast through our very uneducated speak. Well, I mean, we are educated, but just off book, not necessarily pre-planned and in any means. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Even if you just tuned in for the Hamilton segment, I know I caught your eye with that thumbnail. Hopefully,
but I mean, we do like to ramble a lot. Sometimes we get talking about one thing, and then it starts a whole other thing. So, I mean, that's good if you like rambling. But if you like more sensitive, specific topics, in the same archway, you can always skip around and skip past me rambling about whatever's in my head at the time.
I think eventually I'm gonna go through this and create timestamps before I actually release it and make it public. Therefore, you can go into the description and look at timestamps because that would be very helpful and useful. 100%. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps us up, and we've been live for an hour 30 now.
Woo!
How does that feel, man?
And we were struggling, thinking we wouldn't even hit an hour when we were first talking about this. We were like, how are we going to make an hour worth of content? And here we are, hour and a half, and I feel like I could still talk for another year.
Hey, I mean, I'm recording this, unlisted, so maybe we can record another one and then release it next week, but we don't got any prepared topics or anything, so that wouldn't go well.
I mean, that's what next week is for, right? You can make this a weekly podcast.
Hopefully, let's do it. So anyway, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter or something, go in the description. Otherwise, Tim, you want to plug your socials here?
I don't have a whole lot of socials, although if you could put my YouTube up on the screen, that would be nice.
All right, let me do it real quick. Hold on. What's your YouTube channel name again? I'm totally subscribed to.
Totally.
Isn't it Aqua Timber?
It is not.
Oh. I keep getting that the Sharp-Dressed Man video pop up in my recommendations.
Yeah, because I still haven't freaking deleted that.
Why would you?
Why
would you delete it? It's Mr. Lindquist.
Great singer.
Why I'll put your channel in the description or something. All right. I think instead of keep randomly on, we should actually end it here. So
yeah.
Once again, follow Hades _the Siberian Husky on Instagram. Follow me. Follow Timber. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good one.